I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. Representative Steny Hoyer took to the House floor Wednesday to admonish members of both parties over the length of votes. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy urged the Maryland Democrat to cancel proxy voting, claiming that House votes would be quicker if they got rid of them. Congressman Hoyer said that they would not get away with the proxy votes. Take a listen to their back and forth here.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Maryland seek recognition?
Madam Speaker, I ask unanimous consent to speak out of order for 1 minute.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, this is going to be a very busy week. There are over 600 amendments made in order to the defense bill. Clearly, if we do what we just did, and we do too often, take 3 times the time allotted to vote. This took about 47 minutes, 48 minutes to vote in the first vote. We will be here for a very, very long time. No one wants to shirk their duties, but they do want to do their duties on time. And so I want to make it clear to the House that I've asked the leadership, the Speaker's office, to join with me in assuring that 5-minute votes are 5-minute votes. My colleagues, invariably that announcement brings cheers. And invariably those cheering come after 10, 15, 20 minutes have elapsed on a 5-minute vote. Not all of us, but some of us, and many of us sometimes. In consideration of our colleagues on both sides of the aisle, some of you are going to be angry because you're going to miss a 5-minute vote. Now, for those of you who are casting proxies, I ask you to cast them immediately upon the vote opening. So that we can process the proxies at the desk. Ladies and gentlemen, yelling at one another doesn't help try to bring some self-respect to this institution. But each of us has to take the personal responsibility to do our job, which is to put our card in the voting machine, to put our proxies in, to move along. So I ask all of us to respect that, because I am going to try to the extent humanly possible, to end votes at 5 minutes. And some of you are going to be upset. You're going to walk in the aisle and you're going to have, I'd be glad to yield to my friend.
I appreciate the gentleman yielding, and I would like to speed this up, and with all due respect, not to yell at anything else, but if we did eliminate proxies, we could go to 2 minutes. Now, all due respect, the proxies were put in because of the pandemic. It was put in the pandemic. You no longer have that from any procedure here. The proxies will take longer than 5 minutes. If we want to be able to...
Ladies and gentlemen...
I thought the gentleman said yelling at one another doesn't help.
Well, I'm reclaiming my... Ladies and gentlemen, I just admonished some people. This is a serious issue of how the House operates and how your time is respected. We have proxies. We're going to keep proxies. We can debate that. But the fact of the matter is, as long as we have proxies, we're going to have to take consideration of proxies. But we don't have to simply waste time by people not showing up, proxy or not. That's my whole point, so that we can respect one another's time, respect the work of this institution, respect the work of our committees. So I would urge, and I will yield again to you, I would urge us to respect one another, respect our time, and respect the constraints of voting within a time frame, whether it's 15 minutes or 5 minutes. And I'll yield again to my friend.
Thank you, gentlemen. I thank him for yielding to, and I thank him for his comments. But if we look in the chamber right now, we have a large number of people here. Not one person wearing a mask. We can get this job, all right, 3, 4. You can continue to wear your mask and you can vote in person. And I don't see how you're going to do a 5-minute vote with proxies. And I understand the lecturing you're giving to everybody, but on this side of the aisle, we'll be here, we will vote, and we would gladly like to do it the same way every other Congress has done in the history, to be here and do the job like we expect American people to do, and we would think the proxies were gone. I yield back.
Let me conclude, Madam Speaker, by urging everybody to stay on the floor. Because what we see happening many times is somebody votes, they're registered, and then when you go to the next vote, they're 10 minutes, 15 minutes late. That is not what we ought to be doing. So we're going to hew to the time limits as closely as humanly possible within the constraints of our clerks who are working very, very hard to accommodate us. I yield back.